and wholeheartedly I would like to welcome you all, especially our guest from Hyderabad. You are from Hyderabad? From Delhi. Okay, Alhamdulillah. Even father from Chennai is flown all the way to address us and enrich us about financial, both Islamic finance and business opportunities. And Alhamdulillah, we have our own. This is Mr. Osama Khan, of course. He heads Sahulat, the microfinance company. He's got much more than that. He's a few words as a welcome. I would like to wholeheartedly thank him and welcome him for our seminar. Jazakallah khairan. May Allah reward you for all your tireless and altruistic efforts to reach out to our community and in uplifting them. And we have with us our own Rahib Sahib, Abdul Rahib Sahib, who's been, I have seen him to be a tireless worker, just not for the community, but for the whole nation. The formula that he has, the solution that he has for financial crisis, the now even India and the entire world is facing, I think Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us in the Quran and Sharia, and that he's taken that in his, as his own, and he's been tirelessly going around all over the world and all over India, alhamdulillah, to promote it. So Islamic finance hai, wo beharin solution hai for all financial solutions. But then riba mein, isme, usme, even the countries are collapsing because of riba. Now you know. I think I hope the whole entire world goes back to our Sharia and follows Islamic finance, which Dr. Abdul Rahim Sahib and Osama Khan, people like him, are tirelessly striving for. I think even our previous governor, our governor, Raghuram Rajan, he was quite convinced with what he said. And it's Allah's will that it didn't happen. I hope they get the proper thought, Hidayat, get it right, and implement our Sharia and Islamic finance into our country and in the entire world, inshallah, for a more progressive and prosperous world as such, inshallah. So with these few words, I would like to welcome you all again and hope you enjoy and get enriched. It's a very, very precious and very, very important session because everybody requires, and whoever is here, please carry this message to everyone around you and to your families and your friend circle. And inshallah, this will be uploaded to YouTube, which you can again revise and see and promote it also, inshallah. Now I'd like to request Dr. Kalimuddin Papa to come and introduce our first speaker, Janab Abdul Rahim Sahib.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I, Dr. Muhammad Kalimuddin Papa, feel really privileged to introduce the star speaker today, Janab Abdul Rahim Sahib. He holds a diploma in leather technology and completed MA in journalism and mass communication. And he's been in the leather industry for over 25 years. He is also a member of the Central Advisory Council, Markazi Majlis-e-Shura, Jamaat-e-Islami Hind, since 1981. He is the General Secretary of Indian Center for Islamic Finance at New Delhi and has been promoting the concept of interest-free banking throughout India. Rakib Saab also happens to be the editor of the Tamil fortnightly Samarasam. He has received multiple awards for his work in Islamic banking and journalism. And he's represented many conferences and international conferences in the UK, in the Middle East, in Turkey, and in Istanbul. He has also had the opportunity to lead many international delegations. Ladies and gentlemen, presenting to you the star speaker of today and a veteran in the field, Janab Abdul Rahim Sahib.
Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim.
This is Arun and official office bearers of the Madras Muslim Federation and I've seen a lot of different distinguished participants here and a lot of ladies, business people, educationists and students and all. I'm greatly honored and I just want to present what is the wealth creation, financial literacy, Islamic finance, all these things. And for 30 minutes, I will be investing your these things. First, I just want to show you a video, small video.
Was Muhammad, the founder of Islam. Now, prophets who give investment advice are in a minority. It would never occur to anyone to ask Jesus or Buddha what to do with their savings. But for Muhammad, giving investment advice was in keeping with how he conceived his office. Because Islam is a religion that tells Muslims what to do in every sphere of life, including in business. And Muhammad knew a great deal about money and about investing. He had been a merchant by profession. He had taken part in trade caravans, and for most of his career, most likely managed a leather warehouse producing leather goods for sale. By the time he founded his community in Medina, he was in his early 50s. So by then, he had some 4 decades of business experience behind him. Islam differs from other religions in many respects, but the one that matters tonight is how Islam, a religion founded by an entrepreneur, marked the advent of capitalism. First in Medina, then in Arabia and in the realm of Islam, but then later, also in Europe. But before we turn to that story, let me spend a moment speaking about what we mean by the word capitalism. Capitalism is a word we use so often, you'd think everybody agrees on what it means. But that is not actually the case. You might look for a definition of the work of the 2 economists who are most closely associated with defining capitalism, Adam Smith and Karl Marx. But Adam Smith never used the term. Christ was Muhammad. Does very much what a venture capital company does now. It allocates risks, it allocates rewards, sets bonuses for managers, and describes who will pay expenses for a venture. Muhammad's wife, Khadija bin Khuwaylid, was a professional investor in Shiraz. They were married for 24 years. So Muhammad had a very close first-hand knowledge of how to run venture capital. In Medina, Muhammad not only established a market, he also set rules how trade should be conducted. So let me turn to the cornerstone of Islamic ethics, business ethics, which is set out in the Quran. The Quran says, God has permitted trading and made usury unlawful. Now, this is a conjoined statement, and both parts matter. The Quran bans activities that exploit borrowers, but endorses fair trade. There are countless ramifications of the Quranic ban on usury, and we're not going to go through all of them tonight. But what matters right now is that the Quran approved of investments in Shiraz. There were many other innovations in trade that Muhammad introduced in Medina, but I would like to focus on one in particular, namely de-restriction of prices. Allow me to set out the circumstances. Once there was a famine in Medina. Prices for food shot up. Households came under acute pressure. So people approached Muhammad and said, please help us and do something. What they expected him to do was to set a price cap. Muhammad was a manager who never shied away from taking tough decisions. But on this occasion, his adherents were surprised by his reaction, because Muhammad does very much.
Brothers and sisters, you are just seeing the clips of the 2 videos. one of the great economists of German economists who is speaking in London. The Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam made two institutions, distinguished institutions. One was the masjid, another was the market. And how Islam is different from other religions. Because Islam stands for activity in every sphere of life. And Prophet himself was a businessman, and his wife Khadija was a businesswoman. And so what we are talking about is about the business. Business is very, very important for a Muslim. And then I just want to tell you that it's in the market of Medina. When the Prophet migrated to Medina, all the Muhajirin, Meccans came to Medina. What actually happened was, in Mecca, all the companions of the Prophet, Muhajir, what they call, they were business people. When they migrated to Medina, all the Medinan people were agriculturalists. And the market was controlled by the Jewish people. And so, when great business people, the friends of Prophet Muhammad can't go and enter into the Jewish market because the Jewish market is a monopolist market. And there was a man called Abu Rafi. He used to control the price, every price. And the new people were not able to enter. Then Prophet Sallallahu instituted one Suq al-Madina. And he said, he announced to come and then buy and sell in this market is just like a mujahid fi sabilillah. Today, what we have in our common Muslim society, the best place is the masjid and the worst place is the market. But Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam instituted this market of Medina, and he said, when you come and buy and sell in the market, it is mujahid fi sabilillah. Because in the masjid you can't. You have to be with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. There is no cheating, no falsehood, no betrayal and everything. But in the market, you can say falsehood, you can cheat people and all these things. So he instituted the market of Medina. And then the most important thing was there was no taxation and there was no monopoly. And I have got a small essay and share with you how the market of Medina was instituted and where the most important thing so I just want to tell to the ladies that there was a separate place for the ladies, for the department of ladies were there. And history has given. Ibn Majah's book of Hadith used who are the ladies who are living there. And there were inspectors were there. And one of the most important inspectors was Shafa bin Abdullah. He was inspectress of the market till Hazrat Umar's time. So the market of Medina was there. There are a lot of details of the market of Medina, how it was so big, and then there was no taxation, no monopoly. It flourished like anything in this market of Medina. It is one of the important part of the Sirah, which many years people don't know what is Suq al-Madina, how it works, and what are the characteristics of this Medina. And as I was telling you about the Bibi Khadija, you know Khadija, do you know how much of business she was dealing with? 50% business of the Quraysh was done with Khadija. If Khadija's money was not there, her support was not there, Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam would not have succeeded. How she did it? Today I want to address you that please go into the life and the activities of Khadija and be Khadija of today. And then when there are companions of the Prophet, we think we used to visualize the Sahaba were very pious, they used to stand in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's prayers. But there were among the 10 people who Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said they are going to the Jannah, they call the companions of the Prophet, he was assured that they will go to the Jannah. Among them there were 4 billionaires. You know Hazrat Usman, Hazrat Abdurrahman bin Auf, Hazrat Zubair bin Awwam, and Talha bin Ubaydullah. And you know what happened to these people? They were great warriors. They were great supporters of the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. On the other hand, they were great business people. Today we want some certain people of that time. Hazrat Usman, there was a family in Medina. What actually happened? 800 camel loads of food and clothes are coming. Hazrat Usman said, give it to the people. Those who are there in the family taken people. And such was the case. Abdurrahman bin Auf, there was people were calculating that. It was more than 10 Bill Gates money that he used to have. So these are the people that we want to create,
Today, we want such leaders like Ashram Mubashara, Abdul Rahman bin Auf, and Usman Usmanullah. And then Imam Abu Hanifa, you know the great Abu Hanifa, Imam Azam, you're talking about, he was having a factory of clothes, 2 factories of the clothes, and there are several things. So what I want to tell is, we have to look into the glories of past, how we were, and how are the, you see the video of that great man who was telling that venture capital was introduced, and then Prophet ﷺ was doing a lot of things. He was a leather man, he used to make leather, and then there were caravans were there. Caravans, Leela, you have read the Surah, the Leela preparation. What does it mean? There were caravan loads of people, 2,500 camels, 5,000 camels as well. That was the stock exchange at that time. That was the big money, big traders. The people were going to Yemen and Sham, and in that one, people were investing, and then they are coming up next slide. And I just want to tell you one important. This is one of the greatest Islamic scholars of today, Mufti Taqi Usmani. He's the Justice of Pakistan also, and he said in Urdu, I want to tell you that. I read it in Urdu. Arab ka har kabila, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam ke baasat ke waqt giant stock company hota tha. Arab ke ka har kabila, Quraysh ka, Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam came as a prophet, giant stock company hota tha. हर कबीले में तिजारत का एक तरीका यह था कि कबीले के तमाम लोग 1 रुपया 2 रुपया लाकर जगह जमा करते और वो रकम शाम भेजकर वहां से सामान तिजारत मंगवाते। आपने तिजारती काफिलों का कमर्शियल कारवान का नाम सुना होगा और यही कारवान होते थे। सारे कबीले के लोग 1-1 रुपया जमा करके दूसरी जगह भेजा और वहां से सामान तिजारत मंगवा कर यहाँ को उपलब्ध कर दिया। चुनांचे कुरान में इसी तरह इशारा किया लीला के कुरैशन ईला की है। अब तो सर्दियों में यमन की तरफ और गर्मियों में शाम की तरफ सब। This is the address of Maulana Taqi Usmani Sahib. He went to America. People are asking what we have to do here. Then he what are the interests and what is the alternatives you are talking in US. So the first sentence is Arab ka har kabila Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam ki riyasat ke waqt giant stock company hota hai. 1400 years before, every tribe of the Quraysh in Mecca was a giant stock. So today I just want to ask, आज के जाइंट स्टॉक की सूरत हाल क्या है? आज जाइंट स्टॉक कंपनी के बारे में आपको ऐसे कुछ लोग जानते हैं। कुरैश का हर कबीला एक जाइंट स्टॉक कंपनी में हिस्सा लेता था और उसमें कितने स्टॉक हैं जो शरीयत के उसूलों पर खड़े होते हैं। नेक्स्ट स्लाइड। Do you know what is Sharia compliant stocks are there? There are 2 stock exchange in India, the Bombay Stock Exchange and National Stock Exchange. And how many are the Sharia compliant? For example, 825 out of 2,195 Bombay Stock Exchange, 1127 in National Stock Exchange. So people are thinking, there is a misconception among people that every stock exchange or every thing, stocks and the mutual funds are haram. But there are Sharia scholars are there who filter all these things and they come out that majority of so many stocks are there which is Sharia compliant. And one of them there is the Tata investment, that is Tata ethical and Tata's ethical. So we have to make a sense that today also, as the ladies of the price were investing in the stock of the big trade, today the stock exchange give money to the big trade, whether it's Tata, it is Wipro or any other companies, all the small savings that we place into the stock market is given. So the stock is a systematic way. There are several plans. I don't have time to do. There are regular income plan, Hajj plan, dream plan. Even if you got 500 rupees every month, you can invest and then you will get so many multiples of investments. So this is one of the. I just want to introduce 1 or 2 books also so that you can go home and then study them. This is a $1 billion Muslim. Khurram Malik is from USA, and he said the need for financial re-education because we don't know what is finance, what is wealth. So we have to re-educate ourselves. He said entrepreneurship is no longer a choice but a necessity. Today it is necessary that we should know what is enterprise is, what is business is. With enterprises, we can stand up and reclaim our planet. And then he says, millionaires can change the whole world, billionaires change the world. Today, there are so many millionaires are there in our community, but they can't change the world because billionaires can change the world. So it is very necessary that we have a re-education about the entrepreneurship things. This is another book, 5 Pillars of Prosperity, written by one of the prime minister, Yaku Bilza of the USA. And the preface is written by my teacher and patron, Dr. Najatullah Siddiq. He said, Muslims have to make money first, and then they have to save it, and then invest it, and then spend it and giving it. So creation of it is important. Earning of it, then it has to be saved. It has to be invested, it has to be spent, and then next. And then today, Muslims don't know, out of the 500 companies listed in Bombay Stock Exchange and the National Exchange, there are not even 1% these companies which are listed in this stock exchange. So Muslims have about 14% population in this country, but not even 1% in the big business market. So we have to think where we are next. Actually, what people are doing, Ponzi schemes, people don't know, they don't have the education of how to invest in finance. So they go for the Hira Gold, IMA, because they give 3% interest on every month. That huge money they want to see that they want to get huge money. And they do not know that in the business there is risk involved, risk and reward go together, and so they don't have all these things. So we want to see that all these fraudulent schemes that is there in the market has to be seen, and then we have to be away from that things. So I just want to show this slide because some of my students have come. I was told by Mr. Papa that Justice Bashir Ahmad Said's college students are there. So that's I want to show that each of the girls has passed only 10th standard, but they are looking for the education certification in financial markets. You people also get educated. What is financial education is there? What are the courses are there? These courses, if you know that, what are the importance of it? Next. And then halal industry. You know that today there are hundreds of companies that are working for halal industry. But who are these people in this industry? Today we have got, halal food, halal raw material, halal transportation, halal customer, and all these things. And billions of dollars of money is being spent, and Muslims are buying all these halal products. But where are we? Are we there in India? So this is the small. This is 1922's. This one halal food. You can see halal Islamic finance, and then halal pharmaceuticals. All these things. These reports are coming every year, but we don't have the time, and then we don't know what it is. So halal industry is a big industry throughout the world, and then we have to indulge in the next. And I just want to tell to our friends and boys and girls, and also our elders, please halal business. Anybody is using IBA halal cosmetic? Anybody here in this one? Anybody know IBA cosmetics? Huh? Raise your hand, please. Who knows? Do you know who makes this one? Do you know who makes this one? These ladies, their name is Mauli Kelly and Grishma Kelly. Do you know who they are? They were the management consultant, IT professionals. They were there in USA. They came to know that halal industry is a big industry. They came out from their cruisy job in USA and they came to Ahmedabad and they started this IBA care. 2 sisters, Eco Trial Personal Care. In 2014, they say that this is more than 100 crores industry is there. So we are not there in this industry. Even in the Tata Ethical Fund, do you know who are the people who are investing? Not Muslims. The Jain community is investing in the Tata. So Anybody knows this sustainable development goal? Anybody know from the students? Anybody know from the sustainable development goal? For how long it is? This is one of the most important thing, These are the goals because the people think that there is a big inequality in the people. Several 40% people of the world live only for $1.5 every day. And there is huge difference in the income and then the standard of living. For example, somebody was telling there are oceans of poverty and then islands of prosperity. Even if you go to the slums, you see that in 10 into 10 room, there are 5-6 people. Husband is there, wife is there, children are there. But another thing, mansions are there, empty mansions are there. So there is great disparity. So people thought in 2015, United Nations, people sat down in the United Nations, 198 countries of the world, the disparity has to finish. And so they say that there are 17 goals. No poverty, zero hunger, good health, quality education, and 215 to 2030. Today we are in 2023. 8 years have passed, only 7 years. But in the Muslim community, particularly even our educated people, they don't know what is the sustainable development goal. But most of the countries of the world, for example, in Muslim countries, people know, and they have come out so many documents. For example, this is the document from Indonesia, Basnas, and the United Nations Development Project. They say zakat in Islamic finance can contribute to a large extent to the gap of disparity of the hunger, for the health, for the quality education. And these are several documents I have carried with me, but I can send you all these documents and these things to you also. If you want to read it, I can if you can give me your contact. Unlocking the potential of the zakat and other forms of Islamic finance. And this is the role of the zakat. The role of the zakat in supporting the sustainable development. So these we don't know. In India, I was talking to Shaheen Institute the other day, and they were asking how many people know about the zakat. There was a survey by Association of Muslim Professionals about 5 years back. 30% people don't know what zakat is among the Muslims. They know about the namaz. They know what is sunnah, what is farad, and what is nafil. And they are going every year to the Hajj and the Umrah and all these things. Those are also there. But the zakat people don't know. And then Prophet ﷺ said, Bunyal Islam ala khamsin, then kalima shahada, namaz, roza, hajj. But zakat people don't know. What is the nisab? How much is the money or the asset that somebody having? What is this zakat they have to pay? And so zakat is one of the important aspects, and it has to be collectively collected and then distributed as per to during the days of the Prophet. Inshallah, I will come one day if the Mrs. Papa asks me to come. I will come about the talk about the zakat, and then how the zakat can transfer to Muslim society next. And then new development technology. Today there are many developments in the technology. For example, fintech, blockchain, crowdfunding, metaverse, startup unicorns. All these things our people should know what exactly are the fintechs are coming up next. And then this is also significant. We have to network with each other. We are separate. So can we network with other people? And somebody said, your network is your net worth. Next. So we have to network. And then, why Nokia was one of the first companies there in the telephone, in the mobile. Why it has failed? Because later failed, it has changed according to the circumstances. And today, if we don't change, Muslims doesn't change according to the times and then make new developments, we will also face the same thing as Nokia's downfall next. And I guess this book also I will recommend to our youngsters, both ladies and gentlemen, that is to read some of the things. Manage your money, this man says. Saving and investment are different. We save it, but are we investing it? And then you become smarter by taking risk. If there is some risk, reward also goes together with the risk. and then surround yourself with people smarter than you. You are smart, but you find people who are smarter than you. In this book, I will recommend our girls and the gentlemen also to read this one. Let's take another book. Then I just want to focus on this one. This man, Thomas Friedman. Anybody knows Thomas Friedman? He was a great author and he wrote a very famous book. Anybody know who is this man? Thomas Friedman. Anybody know what is the book he wrote? Sitting in the office of the Infosys in Bangalore, he wrote a book, The World is Flat. And he saw the Silicon Valley from Bangalore's head office. And he said, and then what he says, when we were young kids growing up in America, we were told to eat our vegetables at dinner and not to eat it. His mother used to say, Thomas, you don't give the vegetables at the table because Indian boys are starving now. Then he said, what I am telling, think of the other side, think of the killer in India, finish the dinner. Today, what I say, Thomas, what you say, Thomas says, I finish your work. I say to my children, finish your work. Think of the children in India who will become CEOs and make you starve. One generation before, Indians were starving. There was no people eat in the breakfast. But today, Thomas Friedman said, we have got homework. And what is the result? Today, almost all the multinational companies are occupied by the Muslims. Sundar Pichai, Google, Anusha Khan, World Bank, Satya Nadella, they have anybody. But all these people are Indian people who occupy the power centers, money center of the world, and they control. Those one generation before, I thought Thomas Friedman was telling that they don't have to eat the breakfast. Today they are ruling the world. It is India. It is India has become the Vishwaguru today. But we Muslims, where we are still thinking that whether this is halal, whether this has to be done. Think of the thing that people are, our people from South India, these people, Sundar Pichai, Anshula Khan, and these people, all these things, they go and then they rule the world today. So why can't we? If you got the money, you have got the education, you have got the entrepreneurship, you can do that. Next. And this is Artha Kranti. I just want to tell something. He is the man who induced our Prime Minister Modi to demonetize. He was also a great Islamic bank. Next. I just want to show because the organization asking what is the Indian Center of Islamic Finance should be. So I just in this one slide, I just want to tell that the Indian Center of Islamic Finance is creating public awareness for the people. What is the importance of the wealth and how, and then financial literacy. Because we don't know the literacy, how to make money, how to save it, how to invest it, we don't know. So we create a financial and ethical investment. What is ethical investment? What is halal investment? What is haram investment? And all this. More than that, I've been working. I was a businessman, and then I was working in doing my business in UK for 30 years. And then I got lots of information that we need data, we need documents, we need networking, we need lobbying. But Indian Muslims don't do anything. They just want everything from the government. So I think that we have to make data, we have to make documents, and then we have to submit. And then when we were talking about that Indian banks are based on only interest. So can't we make interest in banking? Is it possible? So we study, we talk to the Reserve Bank of India, we talk to the Finance Ministry of the country, and then I will give you all these the small flyer to you. How from 2006 to 2022 we have been working with the government of India and how it has been they are marching towards. And in 2006, Reserve Bank of India came out with a document called what are the Islamic instruments that can be important, it can be included in India. And one of the important documents, if you read the document, this is drafted by Reserve Bank of India. One of the best documents. What is Islamic banking? What is commercial banking? And what is the difference? And why Islamic banking is better than the conventional bank? But the hurdle is that we can't do it because Indian Banking Regulation Act 1949 doesn't allow it. We have to amend this banking. So we have been working as our organizers are telling we were working with Dr. Raghuram Raj also very intimately. And there were several Abu Talib among the non-Muslim people who were greatly helping. There are so many people. And then I've got a list of those people. For example, the Mohammed spy, the Infosys man, the financial man, he helped me in SBI's ethical fund. And then when I was talking about the takaful in the parliament, I went into the select committee of the parliament in Rajya Sabha about the insurance. There are several people. Raju Chandrasekhar is a minister there, BJP minister there today in central government. He said, I have done research on takaful, Islamic insurance. It is very inspiring and informative. So we should not last hope that in India we can't do it. We can't do it. But whether it is beneficial, it is better compared to the other conversion thing, we have to prove that one. And for that, we have to get energized, we have to educate ourselves and demonstrate that it is the text. And then this other one selected because I was inspired that so many girls have come. Do you know who is this Fatima bint Muhammad al-Fahiriya? She was the lady, Muslim lady, who established the first university in the world, first university. And today, what the government and the good that people are running, it is Fatima al-Fahri. I started that one, University of Paraguay, and founded the graduation for all this. Next. Do you know who this gentleman is? Kawarzami. This is the man, he said, father of algebra in the modern time algorithms. Today's computer, every computer is based on the algorithm. It is our forefather, Kawarzami, did this. I just want to have a small quote of what he said. He says, जब इंसान के पास सिर्फ अखलाक हो तो कुल नंबर 1. Can you understand Urdu or I have to translate it? अगर जब इंसान के पास सिर्फ अखलाक हो तो कुल नंबर 1. अगर साथ खूबसूरती भी हो तो दाने तरफ सिफर बढ़ा दे, 10 हो गया. अगर साथ माल और दौलत भी हो तो एक सिफर और बढ़ा दे, 100 हो गया. अगर साथ हस्ब नसब भी हो, लिंगेज भी हो तो एक सिफर और बढ़ा दे, 1000 हो गया. लेकिन अगर सब कुछ हो लेकिन अखलाक ना हो तो ये को हटा दे तो बाकी क्या रहेगा? Today this is the biggest problem with our Muslims. Kawarzami said about 1200 years before, it is ethics and akhlaq and character. This is most important. If you have got wealth, you have got beauty, you have got religion, everything. If there is no ethics, no conduct and character, your integrity is not recognized. You are 0, 0, 0. So this is the great man who introduced the computer system, algebra, algorithms. Even today, people are doing all these computer systems. Then another one important man that I want to, because we have forgotten our forefathers. This is Maulana Azad. Anybody know who was Maulana Azad? Any girl can tell me who is the what is the greatness of Maulana Azad? Anybody can say? Yeah.
Translated the Quran.
Huh?
Translated the Quran.
Yes. Next. What he did for the country? Yeah, the first education minister. He was the man who introduced the compulsory education for all the adults. And then he instituted the IITs. He instituted UGC. He instituted CSIR. And then he did Jamia Millia. Today, if this man has not instituted the IIT, all the CSIR and the compulsory education, all these fellows who have gone to the US and in the financial field, and then the all these power centers, AIT is made them. But whether we know him, when he was talking and the government honored him, and today nobody knows that Maulana Azad was the man who made India the superpower. And then because of IIT, compulsory education, he was only a Maulvi. He was, as our professor was telling, that Arabic professor was telling that he was translating the Quran. But at the same time, he was having the vision. The next 100 years is very important. And India is going to grow like anything, the Vishnu Guru, and then we have to do something extraordinary. But I just want to contrast with him. In 100 years before, he was standing at the pulpit of the river of Calcutta. He said, I tell you that you have to make zakat one of the compulsory things because namaz and zakat goes together. And he said, if you don't collect the zakat and then you leave it, you won't go well. And then he said, if somebody is giving individual zakat, I said, with authority and the standing on the member of the Rasul, this is not acceptable in Islam. And he said, unfortunately, 100 years before, he said, collective system of zakat should be there. Whereas the secular people accepted this and they became the Vishnu group. We are still, that 40% people, Muslim people, according to the committee, below poverty line. What is relating? Today, we have to accept that we have to institute the zakat, and then for that we have to make the masjid as a center. And I've written one small 10-point program for the collective system of zakat. Masjid should be the center. And then we have to make survey. Then all these things are the next slide. And this is the man, he said, no concrete planning and efforts in the last 300 years for the education. 300 साल से हमने दौलत कमाने के ताल्लुक से कुछ नहीं किया। दौलत कमाओ, कोई भी पार्टी हो, कोई ऑर्गेनाइजेशन नहीं कहा कि तुम पैसा कमाओ। पैसा तकसीम डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन ऑफ वेल्थ के बारे में बोलते हैं। मेरे उस्ताद थे जब मैं स्कूल में पढ़ता था, हम नफर नहीं लेते थे, तो लोग कहते थे ठंडी में खाना रहता तो मैं ढोई में आऊंगा। रजी रहमान साहब, मेरे दोस्त बेटे सुल्तान, उनको मालूम रजी रहमान साहब बोलते थे ठंडी में खाना रहता तो टुडे पीपल आर टॉकिंग दैट हाउ टू distribute the money. You have to give zakat, you have to do dawan karma. But we don't create money. So we have to create ethical money. And then another one thing, because the ladies are here, I just want to tell them, this is a tender. This is a South Indian National Zakat Organization in South Africa. Do you know where South Africa is? How many Muslims are there in South Africa? How much percent? Anybody know how much percent of Muslims are there in South Africa? 2%, less than 2%. And then how much they contribute to the national wealth? 10%. 2% Muslims, 10% of wealth of South Africa. They are strong both educationally and financially. And then these zakat institutions are handled by two ladies. One is her name is Feroz Muhammad, and then Yasmin Franklin. This lady, Feroz Muhammad, she was there in KPMG. You know, the KPMG is one of the most important auditing firms. She was a distinguished auditor there. And then Yasmin Franklin. And they got the Golden Award, Good Governance Golden Award for the world, that in capacity building, skill development, these ladies has given the world that yes, we can make. And to the great surprise, 52% of the in the organization, all the ladies are there. Like it is one of the best zakat institution being done here throughout the world. So I want our ladies who are attending it, let us make a resolve that we will also have the zakat institution, financial institution. We can be also these Feroz Muhammad and then Yasmin Franklin, and then we can also create a new world in this country. Good Muslims can demonstrate that they can make money, we can have this institution, and all the ladies should be the next. And then some of these ladies were very distinguished in that. Farah Malik is there, Samina Wazir Ali, you'll be doing all this next. Bida Shah, Arsha Altabji, all these things. And then this lady, Radha Bose, she's from Tamil Nadu. That richest self-made man, billionaire. Do you know all these things? Whenever I do all this is because we should do what is happening in this world. We should not set our eyes and see only this and that. And she is she has got a lot of initial company, advantage, global corporation in her. Looks, she is not very attractive or very educated. Looks like very educated world, but tired with just a self-made women in India. Next. And these are the successful Chennai stars of Chennai. And then we came about last week in the paper. And then if you Google and search what they are doing, I think we can learn also some inspiration and some information next. And there are several incubators and innovative centers. Anybody is there from BSA Abdurrahman Incubating Center from here? I think Nadine knows that what is the incubation and startup, how to make new schemes, how to finance it. All these incubation innovation centers are there. It is there in the Aligarh, it is there in Tamil Nadu also in BS Raman. Next. And then the latest one was, I was just reading last week, the Sana Khan from Iran. What she did was, she was making vermi compost. ये केचुआ होता है ना तो इसमें से निकलता है उसको करने के बाद जो है she made compost made with the use of earth and 500 tons she has made and she makes 1 crore rupees by these things. Innovative things, not very big things, but can we look into it? Instead of sitting in the home and then just writing away that we should use our word. And Sanatan, I asked my friend who is an IS officer in agriculture, he was there in the agriculture ministry, the secretary, the confirmed this one, then asked him to go there. If this is a very important thing, because everywhere we can get the value, why can't we do it? A very simple thing. So I think we have to do some type of thing next. So today, one of the last two slides are there. So I want to get creativity. You have to think out of the box, not what we do every day, but we have to be creative and out of the box. Technical innovation is there, and then the skill development has to be done. Openness in business, and we should not be the job seekers, but we have to be job givers. Last slide. Need of the hour is creation of wealth by halal means, financial literacy, saving investment, and production. So the whole thing is creation of wealth. We create wealth also, but we don't save it. And because ladies are here, I just want to tell a word of caution to them. Where we spend the money, our managers, our lavish spending, and then because of that we get into loans, and then we have become poor. So we have to make our managers as simple as per the Sunnah of the Prophet. Then we can save the money, then invest it, as I was telling you, our forefathers, the Quraysh tribes women were investing in the tribes, the caravans, and today the stock markets are there, the small traders are there. We can invest on all these things and then do something. Entrepreneur, save and invest, entrepreneurship, proactive, positive, and productive. We should be, I request our girls and the ladies, be Hazrat Khadija. She was a great entrepreneur.
So have you heard of the Led by Foundation?
No, I don't.
You missed out on something.
So what I'm saying is,
send you.
yes, please. I'm not a very educated man, because I just want to tell people that convey.
Led by.
Yes, after I finish, just if the organization permit, what is the good name?
What is that? What is saying?
Huh?
Everybody's here. We should get out to talk.
No.
Say hi.
Thank you.
Harvard,
Yeah.
and there's a girl called Luka Shada, and she runs it. Then she tries to place friends. So we are all mentors that we try to young girls come forward and get jobs and do various things for them. Leadership skills.
Yeah.
I thought we were going to talk about leadership skills. And you said we're all please tell us about the leadership.
No, I can't say. I can't say everything. I'm also a very small man. But everybody knows. I think that everybody has got something that they are not to society.
That's why I'm saying more.
No. What I'm asking, I came all the way from Delhi simply because people that are not doing something, they are doing something small things. But yes, but they should be the leaders. They should be the They should be the leaders and they should lead the world. And then the last slide, I just want to tell you, the upper hand is better than the lower hand. And then, no, she should come and then. No, what I'm telling you, you just come and then all the people. No. So I just thank you to the organization.
And the chips is better than the one.
Yeah, the last one is upper hand is better than the lower hand. The Prophet ﷺ said, "Khairun nas wa yanfa'un nas." Those who get benefit of human beings are the best people in the world. Are we? Why in India we are being not getting that much of honor and dignity? Because we are not giving something to the society, something to the people. If we have to give something, people will say, yes, these are the people who give something. For example, I just want to end my thing because there is something, when you sell something, the last thing that I want to tell you is, because the distinguished capital is there, all the highly educated people and the cream of the society is here. We have to tell one thing. When we sell one product, we say unique selling products. There is USP that we call. For example, for the community, Christian community, when we say, who are the Christians? Education, institutions are there, hospitals are there, and then the Sikh community. They feed 24/7 all the people who go to their nation. What is the unique selling point of the Muslims? Can we make if we no, not nothing, it's a think it over. So what I'm telling is, if you are not beneficial to the society, to our neighbors, to our community, or to the country, why should we have the dignity and the respect? If you want respect, you have to be upper hand. You have to be giving some people. My nas, the Islam said, those who give something beneficially to the society, to the family, to the country, will be respected. Once somebody was asking Modi, why don't you think that Muslims are next? He said, no, I've got great respect for Abdul Kalam, I've got great respect for Premji. Those are the people who create wealth. So I want Muslims has to create wealth because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, Amwalakum allati ja'alallahu lakum qiyam. This world is made for the sustenance of this life in this world. It is a wealth. Amwalakum, your wealth is going to be the sustenance and then the base backbone of your life. So we have to make wealth, but it should be ethical, it should be halal, it should be tayyib. It is not dirty things, and then you have to strive. And then, as I said, the Medina market was created with Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Khadija was there, and then all the ladies were there working. Today also there are several ladies are there. I showed you in Tamil Nadu, in the world also. So we have to say that we have under the Sharia law, we can be within the Sharia and then make a lot of money, lot of contribution. It is education, just like Fatima Al-Fahri and then Fazali who made the revolutionary concept of this what is called the computer algorithms. So we have to make some contribution. I thank the organization for Mrs. Papa and Fatima, my sister, related sister, who induced me to come and so I think I have just put some words and then I think you'll be ready to get the info from you. As Brother Saitara was telling me that there are several organizations. You will be knowing several organizations. Sitting here, all those people will be having many overseas. We have to sit together, we have to exchange our education, experiences, make that today, what we heard today, tomorrow will be better, and we'll be having a dignified life in this country. India is a great country, and somebody who gives something good to the people are being respected for millions of years. So I think I thank you for the organization giving Papa and Mrs. Papa and all the audience for the YouTube audience. And I think what I tell you will be remembering about anything, about a lot of documents I don't have time. So yeah, I can. This is my email, abdurrahim@gmail.com. It is WhatsApp also. And then our website is www.icif.org.in. Activity of Indian and
I think all of us put together also time is not enough. May Allah reward you immensely for the tireless service, which is going to transform the entire world. Inshallah. May Allah give you success so that not only Muslims, but the entire world changes into, I think the economic thing is okay. I don't think there will be any corruption, nor there will be any competition. I think that's a solution, and what Quran says that we have beautifully depicted. I think that's a solution for all, the entire humanity and the entire nations, all nations put together to have a better life. Inshallah, I think let's pray that such a day comes in this. Yes, inshallah, we are from Federation of Tamil Nadu Muslim Women. I would like to say a few words about it. We were formed at a time when the unity of all the Muslim, so this Federation of Tamil Nadu Muslim Women came about thanks to our government, central government, in a way, because it united the Muslims, it united the Muslim women, especially the Muslim women of Tamil Nadu. This federation got all the Jamaats, all the political parties. It's hard to believe that the 22 prominent Muslim political parties in Tamil Nadu, the smaller ones are many more. In a population of about 6 to 7% in Tamil Nadu Muslims, 6% of Tamil Muslims in Tamil Nadu, but we have 22 Muslim political parties. Even if 1% votes also, that won't be enough. So that much divided we are. We as Muslim women thought that we should unite, at least women. When we are not, what our brothers can do, we cannot do to that level, but in our own way, we thought we'll get together and unite all the Muslim women of all Jamaats and political parties and come under one umbrella as a Ummah. And then, especially the Tamil Muslims, even beyond Tamil Nadu, there are many. So we thought we just raise up, together we raise the voice against whatever is against Islam and against women in particular. Especially we formed this when the Triple Talaq came about and we held rallies against it. So it was beautiful to see all the Jamaat ladies working together and all beyond the political divisions also. So that way we were all united and still we enjoy a very good relationship. Alhamdulillah. I hope the brothers also get into that kind of a bracket when all of you get together, all the Jamaats and all the political parties get together and join as one, inshallah. And ever since we have been conducting programs every Wednesday afternoons in all India level. So Tamil Nadu has been given the Wednesday's program slot. The other days are for other language, other states. So every year, every week, in fact, they are conducting programs and workshop, very, very valuable workshop like this also we can be proposed to conduct every month, inshallah. And also CAA rallies we conducted at this Federation of Tamil Nadu Muslim Women. It was a very good success. Of course, I have to say, mention Sister Fatima Muzaffar. She's the one spearheading us. And myself, Parveen, Sister Arshia, Sister Shana, very called, and so many other ladies together. In fact, every Muslim lady, Sister Arshia Irfan, she's been the backbone. Akhirati, Sister Akhirati also has been with us in all our journey. Now, by default, every Muslim woman sitting here and every Muslim woman who speaks Tamil according to our basic is by default a member and a part of Federation of Tamil Nadu Muslim Women. So together we are a big formidable force, I suppose. At least we would like to call ourselves that because our voice is high and together. So we are able to convey whatever we can. We had even a BJP meeting right here in this and we could tell them, but nothing happened. But we could express that we women are not happy with the Triple law. So that much we could just at least express ourselves. Inshallah, we will continue to do that. And of course, I've always been about women's empowerment. I think that's the solution for everything. Women are almost 50% of the population and औरत जो हम हैं बहुत कुछ कर सकते हैं खाना पकाना बच्चों को स्कूल को भेजना सब 2-3 घंटे में कर सकते हैं अल्लाह 24 घंटे दिया है तो बहुत कुछ कर सकते हैं इंशाल्लाह एक है और इंशाल्लाह we are starting a computer classes free we've been having classes but now we are having a proper institution where very valuable programs are going to be conducted where the boys and girls can get into MNCs immediately. और brother Shweb, मालूम है ना Shweb भाई, Hands Technology के, he's been supporting us with programs. I think yeah, this but I would like to welcome. Joints are here, great. The people are here. Alhamdulillah, Yusuf bhai, Sultan Beg bhai, or Faisal Rahman bhai, correspondent of JBS College, and of course we have a next speaker, Mr. Osama Khan. Who is ready to say, I don't want to take much time. I would like Dr. Samdin Papa to introduce him. It's a very short introduction. We don't know much about it. I'm sure we have much more than that. Oh, that's So we have Mother Sain Appa also, and Mrs. Saira Parvi, and Mani Mutala and all the others. Alhamdulillah, Abida Adil, and so many of very, and Shirin Bean, and Mrs. Parveen Beg, Appa, who's our Ustad, who's also a star amongst us. So many are there, Alhamdulillah. Parveen Beg, Appa, she is professor of Urdu, and both Khidmat Karte hain I think most of us are students, still are students. And I would like to say Mrs. Saira Parveen and Mrs. Sadia Junaid and Farida Majid, they run anchor from ladies. We also have a microfinancing. So Mrs. Sakra was asking me to join Sahulat. I said I'm with them. To spare me, inshallah. जो भी सहूलत Mrs. Sakra sister बोले, जो भी सहूलत में join करना है तो join कर लेना. सहूलत के बारे में बोलेंगे the organization, microfinance organization. So she wanted me to announce that.
It's my pleasure to introduce Mr. Usama Khan. He currently holds the position of Deputy Chief Executive Officer in Sahulat Microfinance Society, New Delhi, India. Sahulat Microfinance Society works the facilitation of interest-free microfinance to cooperatives. Mr. Khan has a rich exposure and experience in the field of interest-free cooperative in India and has been very active in advocating this cause. Mr. Khan has written several articles on this topic in different languages in India. He also holds various certifications in Islamic banking and microfinance regulations from INCEIF, Malaysia, and the University of Luxembourg. That's about all I have. I think you can tell more.
Just want to tell about this Sahulat. Because the investment and the bank. ये जो बैंकिंग का है इन्वेस्टमेंट का है इंडियन ये जो है इंटरेस्ट फ्री के बुनियाद पर नहीं होता है ठीक है सो देयर इज वन कॉर्पोरेट लॉ कॉर्पोरेशन ये है ना कोऑपरेटिव सोसाइटी के एक्ट में जो है उसमें ये है कि वी कैन मेक इन्वेस्टमेंट वी कैन टेक 100% इंटरेस्ट और 0% इंटरेस्ट so we have a legal framework how to work into it. The Sahulat is a pioneer in this one. Hundreds and thousands of these cooperative societies are working throughout India, and Usama Khan is the leading light of who's taking charge, how it is being administered, whether the partners are there, we bring all these things, and then we can innovative things also, how to make investment and all. Over to Usama.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Shukriya, Dr. Saab, for your kind words, and Abid Saab, for your such a lovely introduction of mine. Thank you very much. Today, this evening, I'm feeling very much privileged to be here in Chennai and speaking here in this crowd. Very much educated, very much lively, well in interaction, and eager to toss some questions. So I would love to have some questions also on this topic or on this subject. First of all, I'm here at this time to introduce the concept of interest-free microfinance to cooperative. So before that,
before this journey started, it was a concept, Islamic finance, which was not introduced in India till that time. But slowly and gradually, when it was identified, this model was identified, or this opportunity was identified in the Cooperative Societies Act. So slowly we started to develop a model and build institutions under this provision. And Alhamdulillah, to this day, we have reached 200 branches across 12 states in India. So this is the growth so far. Next. So this is my first slide, and I'm starting with this story. This woman, Asharam Tekkar Mukesh, she is from Nagpur, Maharashtra. This lady used to work with her husband on a thela, on a small cart where they used to sell vada pav and chai. Slowly, their family increased, their children grown, and the requirement of finances and sustenance increased. Then this lady started her own cart because she had learned the business and art of making things with her husband. And then she borrowed some money from a cooperative named Samadhan that is there in Nagpur. And now both husband and wife together, happily and prosperity they are managing their family. So when I planned to come to Chennai, I discussed this. Papnarabadi is general coordinator of Surat, and Abdul Latif Saib, who is general body as well as governing body member of Surat, he asked me the question. Actually, he always rationale why you want to do it in Chennai. And in Tamil Nadu as well, we have two different cooperatives here. One is Jan Seva and another is Sangama, which is in Banabadi. So actually, sir, I have just today morning, I have just compiled this data for you. That this is the reason that we start to do this thing in Chennai and in Tamil Nadu at a very broader scale. So this is the data. You might all be aware about this thing. How many population is there, and what is the population of Muslims and small families, middle class, lower middle class, all of that. But the most important thing, mostly the women must be aware that in such a locality where the population living in slum, lower middle class populations are living, there is a concept that has emerged called joint liability group. And under this liability group, they create a group of 5 and 6 or 7 women, and then they start to lend. And it's a very exploitative model. You might have heard a lot of stories about that. Financial access in India, has been truly a devastating thing. You might have heard about the crisis of 2008 and 2012 that has happened mostly in Andhra Pradesh, Odisha, and earlier it was known as Telangana crisis also. Next slide, please. So why a model of interest-free under cooperative is required, and why it is for a microfinance activity and model to provide access to finance and financial literacy to the middle class and lower middle class population. So the basic thing is they don't have, or they partially have, the avenue for safekeeping of their small deposits. There is no scheme in the banks where a representative of bank comes to their doorstep or their businesses to collect the deposit and provide them receipts, and whenever they require the withdrawal, they provide them. So this facility is not available with the banking institution. And the dilemma of these small entrepreneurs, the small business owners, is that they cannot leave their business to just go up to the bank and deposit their money. And apart from that, their deposits is such a small amount that bank usually do not entertain their deposits. The second thing is that they need financial access and an easy way to access to finance and on a competitive price, so that it is not exploitative for them, it is not burdensome for them. So for that, we have to differentiate the financing activity into consumption and business related activity. So access to finance with such a segmentation of need-based requirement or need-based products to be provided or to be served through these cooperative credit society. This is the second reason. The third reason is financial literacy or socio-economic development, and also inclusion of such a population in the mainstream financial ecosystem, where not only they start to deposit, they withdraw from there, they lend, and when they grow, they become a part of the modern payment system or the modern banking system. So this is the whole objective. And creating empirical data and advocacy for the interest-free microfinance. Basically, as Abdul Rahim Sahab told that since last 30 or 40 years, various organizations, including ISIF, is doing advocacy for Islamic banking to be incorporated in Banking Regulation Act of India. So this is a long job that Abdul Rahim Sahab is doing since last many decades. For this activity, or to complement this activity, we have been working in this sector to create such a data where we can prove that a banking system or a financial system based on the identification of consumption need and the business need of the individuals can sustain, and we can sustain the institutions by doing the costing on the basis of profit sharing or on the basis of actual cost. So this is the thing that we want to create a database for the advocacy of interest-free or Islamic banking system. The model is very simple, right? I will make it a very simple presentation for you. See, in India, the financial institutions are governed by 3 laws. One is Banking Regulation Act. The other one is Companies Act, where financial companies are established or financing companies are established. And the third one is cooperative. So every state in India has a cooperative law. In Cooperative Act, we can register different kind of institutions. Some of the institutions are very common, or some of the formats are very common, like consumer cooperative, farmers cooperative, and all that. And among those, you might have already heard, or you know that there are cooperatives, cooperative banks as well, which are very popular and very well known in South India and Maharashtra. So similar to that, credit cooperative society is a concept where few individuals, 20, 21, 23, 25 individuals can come together with a common object, and they can register an institution simply by going to the cooperative registrar. So once you get the registration, you are authorized to collect deposit, but not from the general public, from the members of the cooperative. For becoming member of a cooperative credit society, one has to purchase a nominal amount of share, which is usually 100 rupees face value. By purchasing that share amount, one becomes member and can open a deposit account into that cooperative and start depositing the money there. So this credit cooperative society operates or works similar to a bank branch, which you have, a lot of experience going there. So similar to that, these cooperative credit societies work. So second part of that, once deposit is mobilized, the second part is that members come for withdrawal. So withdrawal is also very usual. It goes like it happens in a bank. Everyone comes there. They maintain the minimum deposit. If required, full withdrawal is required. After minimum deposit balance, they can withdraw their full amount. Sure, yeah.
Video all of us remember.
So, this is the question. Once we register a credit cooperative society, so from where we mobilize the fund, from where the fund in the cooperative comes in. In the model which is being advocated by Sahula, we don't rely on charity mobilization, or we don't rely on the model where we take surplus from the wealthy and rich people. So it is purely a market-driven model. Purely a market-driven model. So these are the headings from where the funds are mobilized in the credit cooperative society. So the first one is the basic requirement which is related to cooperative compliance is the general equity or general share. It's a cooperative law that anyone who wants to do the business in cooperative, he has to become a member of the cooperative, and for that they have to purchase a share, which costs 100 rupees to them. The second one is equity from the surplus. So those who want to keep some money for some time in the cooperative so that others can benefit, the equity is mobilized from surplus. Then equity for ventures. So those who have surplus and want to invest into the cooperative from where they can earn profit, with the condition that if any loss occurs, they have to take part in the loss as well. They purchase or they take equity for venture, and the other inflows are donation for members. And it is a compulsory part of the cooperative that every individual at the time of becoming a member, they have to provide 50 rupees in donation, an annual membership fee, which is also part of cooperative law compliance, and 100 rupees it is on annual basis. So this is one part from where the funds in the cooperative comes in. Next slide. And the previous slides, all those heads, those were mentioned in the previous slide, they constitute only 5% of the total fund mobilized in the cooperative credit societies annually. This is the major part where all the liquidity comes into the credit cooperative society. And among these, the daily deposit account constitutes 70 to 75% of total membership or total deposit account. So these accounts are mostly opened with the small businessmen and small businesswomen, mostly working class. So the representative of the cooperative goes to their doorstep of their businesses and collect their deposits into the branch of the cooperative. They get electronic receipt and as well as the paper receipt. And whenever they want to withdraw, they can come to the office of the cooperative and they can withdraw their money. Apart from that, there's a Amanat account or monthly saving deposit account. It constitutes around 15% in the business of a cooperative, and it is generally for the provisioning. So those who are working on monthly wages or fortnightly wages or weekly wages, they usually open this account to provision or to save money for their quarterly need or 6 monthly need or annual need. And then there is a fixed deposit, under which Hajj and Umrah accounts are most popular accounts. And some of the investment accounts are also there, which is called growth fund, which is being deployed on profit-making instruments. Next. So this was the site from where the funds come in and cash inflow. So the shares, different nature of the equity and different nature of deposit. So these are the financing scheme that we run under the credit cooperative society in our model. The first one is demand loan. So demand loan is basically, this loan is related to the consumption loan, where no wealth creation is happening, no value addition is happening. There is no income generation activities happening. It is simply being taken for maintenance activity, repair activity, healthcare, education, and all that. On this loan, the members have to just pay the actual expenses, the actual cost of the borrowing. There is no profit being earned for the credit cooperative society, no profit being earned for the shareholder members, or no surplus is being created for the society itself. The other one, it is a sale and purchase kind of product. This Arabic name of this product is Murabaha financing. Under Murabaha financing, we have two types of financing schemes. One is related to consumer durables. The other one is related to commercial tools and machineries. And some of the at some time we also provide commercial vehicles under this financing scheme. Then we have rental income based financing scheme, which is called Ijara. And these three financing schemes constitute 70% of the total loan portfolio. The rest 30% loan portfolio is being invested in large businesses under the scheme of profit and loss sharing. So, previous slide, please. So, under these three heads, demand loan, Murabaha, and Ijara. In the first one, the cooperative gets actual costs only. In Murabaha and commercial or consumer, cooperatives get profit of sales activity in Ijara rental, and in profit and loss sharing loan, they earn profit mostly. Next. So as I explained in the previous slide, these are the heads where cooperative gets their income: service charge, Murabaha, Ijara, membership fee, and donation. So this is how cooperatives manage their cost, the cost of running the operations, the cost of maintenance, provisioning for bad debts or NPA. All of these are being managed through these income. Next. So here I want to say that this model has in the previous years has got a significant growth. With this growth, there are certain activities which are required for the advancement of this model, which is research and development, continuous training, work on technology that is being done by Sahulat Microfinance Society. So, as a representative of Sahulat, I want to say it here that credit cooperative societies are not, directly being run or formed by the Sahulat Microfinance Society, but Sahulat facilitates to create credit cooperative society under a state act in a particular region with local promoter groups. So if you want to create a cooperative society in Chennai, we will mobilize individuals from Chennai itself. We will form a cooperative here, and all the leadership and governance of the cooperative will rest with this promoter group only. Sahulat will not have any interference in the governance of the cooperative, or funds of the cooperative, or operations of the cooperative. The role of Sahulat is to provide, knowledge base for running the cooperative efficiently, to provide core banking software where we have integrated all the functionings related to cooperative operations, costing of the products and services, training on different financial prudence norms. All these activities are done by the Sahulat Microfinance Society, but the institutions are developed locally. So, next slide. Here, we want to reflect that right now we have presence in 12 different states. As I told earlier, we have formed 100 branches, and the 101st branch is going to open in Sydney, Madhya Pradesh district on 5th of March. Next. This is the size of our cooperatives in the balance sheet of 21-22. We have got to the 221,000 families. Next. The deposit mobilization. This is the data of deposit balance. 198 crores was the deposit mobilization for the last year from these families. Next. The loan distribution was 380 crores, 18 crores. And here is the percentage year by year for the growth. And this a little slide down in the 2021. It is due to Corona, where we have declined from 248 crores to 240 crores. And then in the next year, 21-22, we have again got the growth of 49% and reached to 380 crores. This is the core banking technology we are working on. We provide this technology to the credit cooperative societies for all the banking activities and Sharia compliant costing mechanism. And this is just a projection of mobile application through which we facilitate the field level collection and field level withdrawal in the cooperatives. Next. So these are some stories. One more thing that I want to add here, since it is an industry microfinance activity. So we have discussed the microfinance and we have discussed the deposit side and lending side and how it is going to be sustainable. The other important aspect is Sharia compliance. So on the Sharia compliance part, Sahulat has worked with the TASIs and developed several standards for Sharia audit and Sharia validation of the credit cooperative society. And three very prominent personalities, Mufti Barkatullah Sahab, Dr. Khalid Saifullah Rahmani Sahab, and Dr. Iqbal Ahmad Nadwi Sahab. These are the members in the Sharia board who do audit of these credit cooperative societies. So there are three different parts of this operation. One is credit cooperative society, which works on the ground. The other one is Sahulat Microfinance Society, which helps these credit cooperative society to work efficiently and effectively, and also provide handholding support to these credit cooperative societies in terms of product development, technology, Sharia audit, and other prudential activities and norms. The third limb is Sharia certification and Sharia audit, which we do in collaboration with TASIs. The fourth and very important job is advocacy with the policymakers and the sector organizations, where we take this idea forward and reach to the policymakers and try to to bring this into their knowledge that this model is a sustainable model, and since last 13 years, we are running several institutions, and year by year, this model is growing. The number of beneficiaries in terms of outreach is increasing every year. So it is somewhere 20 to 23% annual growth in terms of numbers of beneficiaries, and somewhere 32 to 45% growth in terms of loan disbursement. So this is the important part, and this advocacy part has also helped us for getting several relaxation in Income Tax Act for especially credit cooperative societies, and for protecting the deposit-taking rights of the credit cooperative societies. We have worked on several advocacy, policy-related advocacy issues like Microfinance Bill 2012, and Deposit Planning Bill, then Unregulated Deposit Schemes Act. So these are the activities that we do in Sahulat Microfinance Society.
Come under the RBI.
As I told earlier, there is a law in India which is called Cooperative Societies Act. So every state has its own Cooperative Societies Act under which these institutions are registered. So any of the regulation or fair practice code of Reserve Bank of India does not apply on credit cooperative society. The only regulator of cooperatives is the cooperative registrar, to whom they have to send annual report of their business and the report of their statutory annual audit. So that's it. GG. So there is a separate ministry of cooperative in every state. Under that ministry, there is a cooperative department, cooperative federation. Under the cooperative department, there comes assistant registrar of cooperatives. So assistant registrar of the cooperatives is the person who gives registration to different natures of cooperative society. And for credit cooperative society specifically, they have assistant registrar of revenue department. So they get posting from there because of the understanding of financial transactions and all. But simply, its registration is granted by the cooperative department, and it has no relation with the Reserve Bank of India or Banking Regulation.
You can operate with your checks and all that. Unlike in Islamic banking, per se, not recognized as a.
You should tell the difficulties in registering with the cooperative society. Because nowadays it is very difficult. That's what we are facing.
So, introduce yourself. Who you are? You introduce yourself. Introduce yourself.
Okay. My name is Yusuf. I am the director of Jan Seva Cooperative Credit Society. Jan Seva Cooperative Credit Society. Alhamdulillah, we have got about 32 branches all over India, and we have about 55,000 membership. And alhamdulillah, we have a turnover of 400 crores. But the problem we are facing now is we are not getting permission for opening a branch, because the cooperative credit society, which is in the central cooperative, that has got only the provision of 0% operating on 0% interest. The local cooperative society register in Tamil Nadu, you have to act upon some percentage. So that doesn't come under Sharia compliance. That's what I wanted to explain. The cooperative credit society is in Delhi, there only, which is coming under Ministry of Agriculture, Department of Cooperation. They have this provision that you can operate on 0% interest. All other cooperative society, you have to operate on a certain percentage in which we cannot register.
Thank you, sir, for such an enlightening presentation of yours. But I want to add a few things. The first thing is that the Central Registrar has amended the rule of MSCS Act. And by that amendment, they have brought that for opening of a branch, first you have to resolve in your general body. You have to send that application to the Central Registrar. The central registrar will evaluate your application based on the information you provided and all the financials you have provided. And when the registrar finds it that it is a feasible thing to open a branch into a new area, he may or may not grant permission. So this is the one thing. And due to which branch extension to the MSCS cooperative, not state cooperatives, the MSCS cooperative is not being
What is MS?
Multi-State Cooperative Societies Act. We have recently met Amit Shah in Maharashtra, Pune last week with the help of Suresh Babade, who is chairman of Maharashtra Federation of MSCS Cooperative, and this is part of the advocacy program of Sahulat. And we have got information from there, from the Secretary of Amit Shah, that for next 5 or 6 months, they do not, they are not ready to do anything on that front, because right now they are busy in amendment of MSCS Act as well as national policy on the cooperation. This is one thing. The second thing is that there are two types of law in India. One is called liberal law and the other one is Old Act for the cooperative societies. Liberal Act is very much silent on every aspect. So with 7 members, you can register a cooperative. But in the Old Act, on the every provision, whether it is a deposit or interest on deposit or interest on lending, they ask you to fix an upper cap, right, of interest. Like if you are lending money, so they say that you cannot charge more than the interest rate fixed by the district cooperative bank, but they don't say how less you can charge, right? So under that provision, we have this opportunity, like what we do in Maharashtra State Act. We form credit cooperative societies. Once it is registered, we take a resolution in the governing board meeting. के साथ यहाँ पे जो है बहुत सूखा पड़ता है, बारिश नहीं होती है. For next 5 years, we will not give interest on deposit. For next 5 years, we will not provide any. We will not charge any interest on the lending activity. However, we will, to sustain ourselves, we will charge some cost or some profit with different methodologies on different nature of products, on different natures of implementation. So this is how things are being done, right? Otherwise, in any law, in any cooperative law, you cannot say that this law says that you can do interest free. No. No law, be it Banking Regulation Act or Cooperative Societies Act, it does not provide you a venue that, okay, you can do interest-free activity here. However, you find out the opportunity in different law, whether it is MSCS Act or State Act, that how to design your services, how to design your product, and how to formulate the language of your bylaws so that your operations become interest-free. So this is the logic which we do. And in Tamil Nadu as well.
Right here, Tamil Nadu, because Sangamam could not open a branch till now in Madras.
Sangamam is MSCS, sir.
MCS.
MSCS.
So have you tried, as you are saying, with a state cooperative, we have tried to form a cooperative society here?
We are trying. We are trying to find out a promoter group through which we can register. So it is a first meeting. Actually, the process has delayed. I have come to Chennai last year in September or October. I don't remember the date precisely. And I have collected all the information. I have visited with Ahmad Ali Saab, sir, your friend. Ahmad Ali Saab, I have visited all the offices and department and ministry. I have collected all the information, documents and all that. And right now we are ready to move for that. So if we are in the process of mobilizing a promoter group.
If we succeed, then it will be. We should open the gate.
It will be a breakthrough, inshallah. So I must say thank you to the organizer, thank you to the crowd. You were a very patient listener, and we have asked some very good questions. Thank you once again.
It was truly enlightening. I think we've set our minds thinking about having a all-women cooperative society in Chennai, inshallah. I'll just ring to my friends, and they also nodded their head. I think you've just lit the spark, inshallah. I hope it really seems alive. Inshallah, Jazakallah khairan. Yeah, and may I request, that my friend Nigar, the principal is also there. We have very eminent people right here. I would, Parveen, would you like to speak on anchor? Okay, anchor is a small way the ladies are doing. Come on. So I think Parveen should, we share the same name and we share our children also.
Come with you. Really an honor to stand here. And I really, I think, thank both Sahulat as well as Rafid Saab to have come all the way from Delhi and enlightened us. It's something that really, because it's a challenge that we are facing over here, running Anchor now from almost 2006 onwards. And we've been giving interest-free loans. I know how difficult it is for the donations as well as for the disbursement, but I think it's very, very enlightening. Definitely, I'm sure that we will find some ways where we can license and see how we can take this forward. Because of course, our challenge is how the money is coming. Because the loans, the numbers are just rising by the hour, by the minute, I can say. And today I have come specifically to find out as to how we can raise the donations. This is our challenge, and I think credit for cooperative society is the solution. And we need to do something big. We need to work on this. Thank you so much. So, Appa, would you like to speak?
Yes,
Would you like to say? She spoke about led by, yeah. I think many women are very. She was mentioning she is mentioning about one. So I think, thank you, Parveen, for all the best. I think you should think about starting a cooperative, all women cooperative, inshallah. We just think on those lines. Just we have to learn what it is before you do one. Before we test the water, before you get into it, actually, we really don't know. So something big that you're talking about, so that we will be able to help you, not we take your guidance, inshallah. So I'd like to thank each and every one of you. She has a question, and I would like to ask you. She wants to know you. So, I'd like to know, fix the deposit. What is it like? The sharing of profit that you have module you have? You're going to fix the deposit. Are you going to share the profit?
So, all this money that is part of the credit cooperative society itself. Sahulat does not have any part in the deposits mobilized in any way from the members of the cooperative society. This is one thing that I want to clarify. The other thing is that the growth fund mobilized or the fixed deposit mobilized are of two nature. One, the member wants a secure deposit. Okay, I'm depositing on current basis. I mean, on a monthly basis, and with some locking period, and I want to go for Umrah after 1 year or let's say 1.5 years. So once this maturity completes, he withdraws that money. He wants that safe. He does not want to take some risk on that deposit, right? So it is not being invested anywhere. But the money which comes with risk, with the promise that if any loss happens, the member will bear the loss, and if any profit happens, the cooperative will share the profit with the members. Such a deposit is being invested within the cooperatives under the instrument of Murabah. So one member comes for the purchase of food, let's say a fridge for household use, right? Or a fridge for his shop to preserve cold drink or curd or cheese, right? So the purposes are different. But in one purpose, there is a value addition, and in one purpose, there is an income generation activity. In both the activities, members share some profit with the cooperative society. And this accumulated profit at the end of the year is shared with the individual who has provided or who has deposited some fixed deposit amount like 5,000 or 10,000 rupees into the cooperative. So this is how this whole operation runs.
Now, how the tax they are asking? how much you take for your expenses, how much you share for your investors?
Actually, the thing that we are talking about is a model of a venture capital company. So cooperative is not a venture capital company. There is no management fee. Actually, the cooperative is run by its members only. They hire some staff to run that cooperative, like one manager, one cashier, one clerk, some field representative to collect deposit and to recover the loan amount. So this is the cost of operation. From all the activities that cooperatives do, whether it is consumption loan, profit sharing loan, loan or Ijara loan, from that profit, the first expenditure is the cost of operations of the cooperative. The remaining amount is the profit. So from the remaining amount, which is profit, first part goes to the to that fund, which comes with a growth fund or fixed deposit for the with the risk bearing instrument. The remaining part of the surplus is provisioned according to the law. You can maximum provision 14% to provide dividend to the shareholders of the cooperative. All the members of the cooperatives are shareholder. So 14% goes to them. The rest of the amount is according to the cooperative law is provision for NPA, for cooperative education, for future development and growth of the cooperative. So this is the Okay. That's it.
Go on, I think what you want, I think would be better. There's a lot of clarification. Anybody would like to ask anything?
So you can sit still out. Maybe go there. Yes. No, you can so you can see.
The front of JVS college.
My respected elder brother, Abdul Rahim Sahib, Sama Khan, Dr. Islam Baba, more important things, which is the Federation of Tamil Nadu Women who organized session and other respected elders, faculty members and students. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Mr. Usama Khan, I would like to present some points and I would like to be taken in the proper spirit. The subject of interest is one which is studied in our regular economic course. The subject of interest is a chapter with our economic text. And there they have the special section on theories of interest. There are different theories of interest propounded. I will not go into them in detail except to mention one. The time preference theory of interest. That is to say that interest is a reward for postponing present consumption in favor of future consumption. It's quite possible to tell these issues that are out of the room, but as you were therefore called coming and could not disturb the audience, I went out. I apologize for that. That interest is the reward for a person postponing present consumption of his money in favor of future consumption. This is the reward for the saves it and he puts it up and he gets from his personal income. One aspect. If the reward is zero, why should a person say, what is the incentive for him to take? He's earning 2,000 rupees a month, why not spend it all away, except that he may need money in the future. Whereas, if there is a reward for his saving, if he manages to save over 2,000 rupees, let us say 20,000 rupees, he spend only 30,000. He will try to reduce his consumption. If I have 25,000 to make 35,000, make 25,000 and save more and get more interest. But if the interest rate is zero, what happens with this savings? Such savings will be lost. That is one aspect. Now, the other aspects are I mean, the number of replies to this introductory model of mine. One is we had an eminent gentleman with Ahmedabad, who is no more now, Mr. Muhammad Zainul Hila, who was a BCom and FCA, a very senior chartered accountant, who was actively interested in this field. Now, if 3 points, one is the inflation argument, sir. If you lend me 1 lakh of rupees today on the 22nd of February 2003, and you return it for the condition I will return it to you on the 22nd of February 2024, exactly 1 year later. If I return to you 1 lakh of rupees, am I really returning you 1 lakh of rupees? Because on account of inflation, the amount of things, goods and services with 1 lakh and 5 will not buy the same thing. Will buy less than that. Because the prices of things, cars, food, everything increases, so 1 lakh will not be enough, you cannot buy the same. Even the number of apples you can buy with 100 rupees today, you cannot buy the same number of apples next year. You can buy only fewer number of apples. Therefore, to compensate you and put you in the same position, I must pay you a certain percentage equal to the rate of inflation. That has to be carefully calculated. If the rate of inflation is 10%, then I must pay you 1,10,000 rupees next year. Is that regard? Because the strictest definition of riba are any amount over and above the principal left. Now, that's the rent argument, the inflation argument. The next is the rent argument. Suppose I have to buy a machine and it costs me 10 lakhs of rupees. The usual way is I go to the bank. The Bank of Baroda, the Indian bank, apply for a loan for 10 lakhs rupees, they give me 10 lakhs rupees. Or let me choose a simpler number. Okay, the machine costs 1,20,000. And I must pay them 12,000 rupees every month. So on the 1 lakh is 1 lakh 20, I must pay them 12,000 every month, and I must return to them the 1 lakh again. So this is the way they will get it. That is, it has been said that interest is the rent on money. Right. So I just haven't finished there. So I took 1,20,000 rupees from the bank loan. I have to pay them 12,000 rupees. Oh, sorry, I beg your pardon. 10,000 rupees every month. 12 months I pay them 1,20,000. And then I return over there 1 month. Yeah, now the next one. Is this not the same as somebody occupying a house worth 1,20,000, paying the owner 10,000 rupees every month for his living for rent in the house, and at the end of the 1 year, returning the house worth 1,20,000 and vacating the house? Question has been asked, what is the difference then between rent and income? And the third point is the foregone profit argument. That if you lend me 1 lakh of rupees today, sir, and if I return to you next year exactly 1 lakh of rupees on the same day, have you not foregone so many investment opportunities? Instead of giving me the 1 lakh, you could have put in the stock market and the 1 lakh will probably become 2 lakhs or 2.5 lakhs. Have you not foregone these opportunities? These are certain points which have to be carefully considered by those who propound the interest rate. I have said it.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Very wonderful question. So may I respond to this one? Thank you. Jay. So these are the arguments, obviously written by some very learned and educated economists sitting in a room with on a lovely agony table and with some cake and cheese on the table, right? So I must ask one question. Is there anybody in this room who has 1 lakh rupees of monthly salary which comes into his account? Is there anyone?
There are professors
No,
that are
just-
trying
just-
to draw more
Just
money than that.
just let me respond to that. A very practical aspect. You, madam. So at the end of the month, how much money remains in your account? After the expenditure, 7,000 rupees. How much interest do you earn on that 1 lakh rupee of your monthly salary? How much in 3 months? How much interest comes into your account? Interest, yes, on your salary, on your saving. Like 57 rupees. So how significant is that amount for a depositor who deposits 2,500 rupees monthly into his savings account? And how relevant this discussion is for such a depositor to discuss inflation and opportunity cost and all that. So the argument and the discussion entirely changes when you divide the population into different segmentations and you divide their need into different segmentations. So for a person who is saving 500 rupees daily basis, who just want to safekeep his deposit, this argument, this theory is not relevant for him. Because what he will earn at the end of the day, at the end of the month, 14 rupees of interest. So this is his inflation cost, development cost of opportunity or time lapse. So this is completely not relevant to the population which we are going to serve or which we are already serving. So when we discuss economics, when we discuss banking, when we discuss Islamic finance, and with Islamic finance, it is generally associated that Islamic finance means it's a sort of a charity activity where some rich and wealthy people of the society deposit their money into some kind of group or association, and they lend it out to some very poor and needy people of the society. No, Islamic banking is not that. It is not a charitable activity. It is completely related to the need of that human. If that person wants just to save his money, right? He is in search of safekeeping of his money or her money. They want to just at the time of need, they just want to withdraw that money, right? And they don't want to own any risk of actual business happening into the market. So they will just go with the safekeeping of any option, because they don't want to take any risk of the market or the business. But those who are willing to take that risk, those who make promise that, okay, here is my money, I want to deposit in growth fund or fixed deposit account, you invest it, and if any loss happens, I will bear the loss. And if any profit happens, you will share that profit with me. So with that agreement, if one goes, he will earn more than he earns actually, more than the set rate of interest of the market or the banking industry. So in cooperative, we are experiencing this thing. Generally, this profit goes to 20% per annum. Whereas on interest, maximum if you are doing FD, you will earn 7.5% from the banking industry. But what we have learned from our experience into the cooperative investment, the profit goes up to 20% profit to such depositors and the scheme of fixed deposit schemes. So we have to actually understand this theory of banking or theory of costing, theory of inflation from the perspective of the end user as well. Because this theory might be applicable for the larger institutions who are dealing in $3 or $4 or $5 trillion of economy. But those institutions who are playing 100 crore rupees, 50 crore rupees, and in those as well, the single borrowing is maximum up to 42,000 or 45,000 rupees. This theory completely becomes irrelevant. The third thing that I want to address is that when we say Islamic finance and we, I mean, generally not this gathering, this is a very learned gathering. The general perception of the public is that interest-free activity or Islamic finance activity is some kind of cost-free activity. There is no cost associated. So there is cost associated. There is cost of operation, which is associated to the deposit activity, to the lending activity. There is a cost of risk associated in terms of bad debt and NPA with the lending activity. And to sustain among all these costs and risks, the cooperative has to earn profit through the business activity as well as the consumption related lending activity. So this is how we address the problem. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
One last question.
Yeah, please.
One last question, please.
I think we are done now. Jazakallah. I think we are closing in on the Namaskar time. So, Asar bhi padna hai. Can I have it? So, Jazakallah khairan. I think your answers are very convincing. Our purpose is different. Our target is different. Who we want to serve is different. It's more like a service-oriented setup that Islam has advocated.
Yes.
May I take this opportunity to thank everybody, each and every one of you who have made this a very successful program. Inshallah, more than 100 plus we are everywhere a while ago. So each one of you can reach out another 10 or 20. I think we have a large population. I mean, to know about all these things that's there in Quran, embedded 1,400 years ago that we never discovered so much. And Jazakallah khair, you brought it to light and you're presenting it to the society. May Allah make us all a fair ummah where we have a very trouble-free and sukoon, peaceful life for all, peace and prosperity in our amongst us, and may this be the what to say thing to a factor that will draw others into Islam and to understand Islam and into Islam as well, inshallah. It's all right to that. Allah says in Surah Raj, verse 11, unless you change your condition, Allah will not change. So I think each one of us should take this message outside and say, they have the women especially have to change their minds to start creating wealth, as Rahim Saab said. Create wealth. So we have such excellent examples of Islam, women in Islam who have done that. Jazakallah khairan, Rahim Saab. We knew a few of them, but you have brought to light more of them. So Jazakallah khairan. I think we'll have this presentation uploaded in the YouTube for us to revise and learn more, inshallah. Jazakallah khairan, Usama Sahib, and of course Abdul Hafiz Sahib, and all the dignitaries here for their time and for contributing. Of course, he is our brother, and I mentioned before also, he's always been a part of host. Jazakallah khairan. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Come and talk to you about Islamic right? Analyze something.
Excuse me, sir. Sir, I think you've not given a name and number. You'd like to have Assalamu alaikum. You can just. You have given your name and number.